Hello. Now, it's been a little while since I've done a share on my Living Balance kinesiology page, but I thought this is a good opportunity, particularly with what's going on from a planetary alignment point of view. I think there's like 6 planets which are aligning at the moment, which is creating, for some of us, if you're wondering, a little bit of havoc within your energetic field. So with it being in Mercury retrograde as well, I'm not going to go into the specifics of that. You can certainly go and find and source loads of information through many different platforms. But the key that I really wanted to touch on is energy hygiene or energetic hygiene. And what this essentially means is that you don't just carry around with you a physical body. As most of us are aware, we have energies that we're interacting with, being a living, breathing organism of the universe. So what this essentially means is that through your day-to-day life, you could be starting to feel certain things and questioning why all of a sudden you feel depleted or zapped, or you're waking up and you have had 8 hours sleep or 7 hours sleep, but you still feel really fatigued and drained. And there's many different reasons for this. I'm going to give you one little tool right at the end of this video, so you've got to keep watching as to something that you can do on a daily basis which can assist you to keep your energy clear and clean. Now, I'm going to add some things along the way of some key things that I use, and I also recommend to my clients who come and see me for kinesiology sessions. So this is an all-round good amount of information that's easy to take in and you can use in your daily life, even if you've never experienced kinesiology before, but you are sensitive to energy. Now, I'm a real true empath, so I work in the line of energy medicine, and obviously working with vibration and frequencies, I need to be very aware of what's going on with mine to be able to obviously work with others, not so much cross-pollinate, because we obviously are a conduit when we're working with our clients. But at the end of a session, I'm very sure to clear my energy from the client and vice versa, so that they walk away feeling balanced and centered and aligned, and I also don't take on their energies. But all in all, because I'm working with energy and vibration every single day, it means that I have to be even more aware of what's going on, what I'm putting in, what I'm digesting, what I'm consuming, not just physically through food and drink, but obviously that has a part to play in it, but also what I am absorbing from my environment. So let me just touch on a few different areas. So the first one I'm going to talk about is just your emotional state. So our emotions, we can be carrying around toxic emotions that are suppressed or from experiences that we've had in our past that we haven't reconciled. We can also be picking up energies of other people. So if you are with someone and they've got quite a strong, overbearing, personality type, you may be absorbing into your field of energy through spending time with them, and particularly if they're talking about negative topics or there's a lot of gossiping, you essentially can absorb that into your field. So my first point is to be very well aware of who you spend your time with and being able to clear and clean your own emotional body, because that's part of the astral field of the body, which sits in the auric field. So this is out from the physical body and the etheric body. We then have what we call the astral body. And it's through that you're interacting, as I mentioned before, a living, breathing organism of the universe, which means that we are all of one. So what exists within me exists within you. But when we actually cross over and we're having interactions, if the vibration is different and someone is quite negative and you're in a really positive state, if you're not well aware of that and you're not able to maintain your vibration, you can be starting to pick up the negativity. So it's just important to be aware of it and to be able to actually clear and cleanse that yourself. Secondary to this, I would say the very obvious one, should have probably started with this one, but being very aware of what you're actually putting in your mouth. So if you're eating food that is more dead, processed, not full of life, and that's not higher vibrational, so I tend to lean toward a very plant-based diet. I am what we call pescatarian, so I'm vegetarian mostly, but I do include a small amount of fish. Now, that's just a personal choice for me, but I'm very much a big believer of high vibrational food, as close as possible to nature, because essentially this then, when you take it into your body, into your container, just imagine if it's really processed, it's not really going to be giving you much life force energy. So the higher the vibration of the food and the drink, better is for you. So that therefore also means water. If when you're drinking certain substances, obviously steering away from other sorts of substances, but that are, you know, chemicals and alcohol and so forth, or just in small amounts. But with your water, it should be obviously filtered is paramount to it, but high frequency. And you can do this if you don't actually have high frequency water or, you know, pH balanced water. You can actually bless your water, and you can bring really positive, loving frequencies into your water before you actually drink it. That you should try that. It's actually amazing, and it will change the molecular structure of the water. So that brings me to the next one, which is what kind of places are you hanging out in? So if you go to low vibe places where low vibe people hang out, and that is not a derogatory thing to say, but we know that there are certain pockets and areas where certain people will frequent, and it has a collective vibration or a collective consciousness of that vibration that exists within those sorts of places. So a couple of examples, train stations tend to have it, but also even just, you know, pubs and bars. I get it from shopping centres, so I tend not to go to shopping centres a lot, or if I do, I ensure that at the end of it, I actually give myself a good clean up. So these sorts of places, it's because of, you know, sometimes the nature of the types of people that are attracted to go there. So if you are wanting to keep your vibration high and really taking care of your energy, then hanging out in those sorts of places, probably not so positive. So just being very mindful and selective in where you choose to go. So I've covered those main ones. And then of course, environment also taps into nature. So the opposite to that is it will always trump, but hanging out places where you can connect to Mother Earth. So feet on the ground, free flowing water, fresh is always best. So anywhere where there's waterfalls, amazing. Beaches are fantastically grounding and very high vibrational, especially where there's waves. Not so many waves in Cairns, but you just want, you know, water that's actually clearing and cleansing and detoxifying. So whenever if you are feeling out of sorts, going to the beach can be particularly grounding. And they're just a couple of examples of what you can do in nature. So this brings me to the next topic, which is, okay, so what would you do at the end of the day if you are feeling depleted or slightly fatigued? Is something that I do, and I sometimes do it between my sessions as well with clients, is an auric sweep. So you can actually use an essential oil on your hands. I like to use Palo Santo, or you can use frankincense or anything else that is, you know, obviously of a higher vibration. Even rose is actually quite good. And all you're doing is just taking your hands and actually sweeping down the whole auric field as if you were giving yourself an actual bath. So what you're essentially doing is you're clearing and cleansing, pretending that I did put my oil on, of course, and sweeping all the way around that auric field, finding any areas where any negative energies have attached and clung to you, which has then created havoc with your own vibration and your own energy field. So I hope that's been helpful. If you have any questions about energetic hygiene, feel free to comment below. I'm more than happy to add any comments. If I can answer your questions, I will. And if you are interested, if you are feeling out of sorts, often this is because your energy actually needs to be rebalanced and realigned. Kinesiology is amazing for what it taps into, and it bypasses the consciousness, or the conscious mind, I should say, not the consciousness, but the conscious mind, where sometimes we are holding on to things where we want to direct things and control things in our life. And what it essentially does is it taps into your subconscious and unconscious, where all the patterning is, which is then creating obviously emotions and being a feeling, thinking human soul. When we clean up the vibration and the energy, we essentially get a different result, and we can bring ourselves back to balance and alignment. So reach out if you would like some support in that way. You can book through my kinesiology page through Living Balance Kinesiology. And I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Thanks for watching.